because they went one direction, turned around, and came back another direction. They've been on the move since 11:30, 12 o'clock today. So people have been walking for 2.5, 3 hours now.
Well, you could tell it's skewing younger because they are moving quick. I mean, when we joined you just a few minutes ago, they were up on Sunset. They've made their way down Orange all the way to Santa Monica. A couple of the groups that we were looking at have now actually already converged. So you're going to get a better sense for the amount of humanity down there in one spot as we go ahead and widen out. You're looking at the intersection of Orange Drive and Lexington. That's going to be Orange Drive up and down through the center of your screen. And as we widen out, you're going to bring Santa Monica Boulevard into the frame here near the bottom of your screen, and as we pan up, or tilt up I should say, just a little bit, you'll see Sunset, the crowd on Sunset. So the entire street from Sunset Boulevard to Santa Monica Boulevard completely packed. If you then take that east a little bit, there's a whole nother group that was coming down from Hollywood Boulevard. The speed at which they're marching is fairly impressive. They're fairly impressive. They're covering quite a bit of ground in a short amount of time. So to answer your question, yeah, they're going to be a little bit teetered out tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, but it's been quite a sight to see that many people gathered and moving so quickly, and perhaps they do have that final destination where they want to all end up together, but that's going to be quite a scene.
Yeah, a little bit of a bottleneck here, definitely some traffic disruption. But one thing we have seen, and some of these cars are certainly part of the protest. Other cars happen upon it occasionally, depending on which turn the crowd makes, but everybody's been very patient. And as we've seen over the last several days, most of these drivers are actually very supportive of what's going on. Most, not all, of course, but most. And we have not seen any major issues when it comes to interaction between the crowds and the cars themselves. And certainly you can see that here in this shot. But the amount of people down there is still really something.
Well, and Chris, you call it no major issues, and it just struck me as you're saying it, and I'm watching the cars stuck in the intersection, just stuck there. How many times in the past have we seen a protest where some of those cars that suddenly got stuck there have bashed in windows or have people pulled from their cars? There's none of that. Yesterday we saw some bashed windows, not off the main street. You'd see a car that had been damaged, slightly or something. You haven't seen any of that. And that's remarkable, Chris, when you just watch people walk by a car and the car just sit there and let everybody walk by them.
Well, you're right. I mean, I think, and that speaks to the adrenaline coming down a little bit, the temperature being mitigated a little bit, and everybody is just being very patient with each other. And certainly we hope that that's what part of this is all about. When you think about what we're going through as a society, the pandemic, and now this, what was unrest over the weekend, turning to really peaceful demonstrations. If we can just reset the way we treat each other and the way we talk to each other, maybe driving doesn't have to be as aggressive all the time. Of course, on a normal day, people have places to go. They're in a rush to get somewhere, and if they have a crowd blocking an intersection, and that's going to cause them to be late for work, certainly you can understand why people are a little bit less patient on a normal day. But again, on a day like today, where very few people are out to begin with, traffic is already pretty light. Nobody really has anywhere that urgent to be right now. Let's face it, for the most part, aside from our essential workers who still have to get to work, everybody has a little bit of extra time on their hands, and why not just slow down, let the crowd go by, and again, it's just a part of the unity that we're seeing here in Los Angeles.
I hope you're right, because it does seem that COVID-19 era, we have had to learn more patience and to maybe quiet down a bit, and we're not in a rush to get anywhere, and maybe those cases of road rage will go away, hopefully.
Let's hope. Chris, I saw some people when you zoomed in on that.
I wasn't going to go that far, but
come on.
Hopefully. Let's hope.
When we were looking at the tight shot of that intersection, I saw a few people start pointing the direction of that road right there. So I'm not sure what that intersection is, but people had gathered in this, and I saw several people with both hands almost start trying to direct people down that road. Are they now moving down a road as opposed to just making that block again? What is going that direction?
Some of the crowd that was moving south on Orange has continued down to Santa Monica, and some of them have turned around. So there's a little bit of a concentration at that intersection there. We're pushing in on La Brea, just so you have an idea. That's the West Hollywood perimeter, and that is where LA County Sheriff's Department does have a line set up as folks move through Hollywood. I think they're trying to keep them in Hollywood and not venture into West Hollywood. You can imagine that the Sheriff's Department obviously working in cooperation with the LAPD to make sure this all goes off peacefully. But it does look like some of the crowd has actually turned around and meeting up with other groups.